I welcome the opportunity to take part in this discussion, and I start with Ireland's recognition of the State of Palestine on the 22nd of May of this year, which was very welcome. And I see that nowhere reflected here the follow-up, the steps we need to take in any of the 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 items listed on the agenda. And I would have thought the EU-Israel trade agreement would be top of the list in relation to taking action. It seems, it doesn't seem, Leo Varadkar, the former Taoiseach, wrote in February of this year, which was very welcome. There's been subsequent contact, no answer in relation to that. We've nothing. I understand, but the thing is, this is now an agenda, and that should be top of an agenda.
I agree, Deputy.
Thank you.
I can't do any further than we have.
All I can do is try to use my time to highlight that as a committed European who believes in the European project, but not the direction it's going. It has lost its moral compass a long time ago, and we're heading for a militarised Europe and a fortress Europe. And I say that actually reluctantly, because I have very, very good contact with some of the countries in Europe. So here we have this. We have very definite language in relation to the Ukraine and the illegal invasion by Russia. And we have very, very comprehensive support for the Ukraine initiatives and a rebuilding programme. And then we look at Gaza. Not the same language at all. We talk about a humanitarian assistance. We talk about a ceasefire, which is the most basic thing, that we would stop slaughtering people. We're not doing that. We're trading with Israel. America is sending arms, Europe is sending arms to Israel, and they're slaughtering people and committing genocide. And here we have an agenda that doesn't reflect any of it. And it talks about security. We're endangering world security. We were told that less than a month after the Hamas invasion, which was wrong, and not the invasion going over the border, and then the reaction by Israel, which was out of all proportion and is genocidal. And we were told that that it was a crisis for the world by the UN at that time. I've come in without my glasses, so forgive me in relation to that. But it was highlighted, that's what happened. So on the 7th of November, the UN General Secretary said that Antonio Guterres, at that point, was becoming a graveyard for children, that the nightmare in Gaza was more than a humanitarian crisis, it was a crisis of humanity. I don't see it reflected anywhere. If you have any influence in Europe, and I know you're a committed European, wouldn't you think, we have to look at the world differently as women. If we want to make a difference in politics, we don't continue with the business as is. This is not anti-men, but that vision has got us into the mess that the world is in. And it's time for us to take it in a different direction. How many more people have to be slaughtered in our name as we stand here? 37,396 Palestinians have been killed. 85,523 have been injured. How many reporters, how many human rights, how many organisations have to be designated terrorists with absolutely no evidence whatsoever? At what stage do we stand up as an independent sovereign republic and say, don't do this in our name, we will use our voice in a different way? And can you tell me here today, Minister, and I hope you're going to tell me, that no legislation is going to be rushed through this stall in this week and the next 2 weeks in relation to losing the triple lock? And going back to what Deputy Gannon said, what type of deal, I wish Deputy Michael McGrath the best in Europe. What type of deal has been done in relation to his appointment, if any? And then if we look at the promises that he's mentioned already by those that were successful for Fianna Fáil as MEPs, they said they would not support van der Leyen. You can't answer for them, but I mean, surely the government must know whether they're voting or not voting for van der Leyen. Somebody who has stood shoulder to shoulder with Netanyahu. Somebody that's standing over a trade agreement that is completely against the actual articles in the agreement about human rights. Somebody that is, to me, power is all that matters to the woman. That's all that matters to the woman. And so, at what stage will we stand up and say, no? I deplore what's happened in relation to the Ukraine. I also deplore what we've done in relation to those that came here and divided refugees from each other. I absolutely deplore that. And I read out earlier on a situation in Galway where people who have got status are being given an eviction notice. There's nowhere to go. And all of that was created by a government policy that distinguished Ukrainian refugees under the directive from other asylum seekers and just created division